Good morning.
I was getting jiggy with it. Hey. Early in the morning. Nothing like a two-step to get you started on your day.
Nothing.
How are you?
All right, and yourself?
I am well. How was your week?
Busy.
I know, right? I was like, what in the
But
whole wide world is
but it went by
happening?
fast though. I'm not complaining about that.
I'm not, but I just felt like, can I just sit down and enjoy the little bit of summer weather that maybe we getting and just get some natural vitamin D on my body. Just sit down. Can I get 10 minutes just to sit? I didn't. Except I did, well, I take that back. Maybe I did. I had lunch with one of my friends and I got stung by a bee. I've never been
Mm-mm.
stung. You know,
Never?
I feel like I'm too old for first, but this was a first.
Really?
I had never been stung, and I was so nervous because I didn't realize what it was. I'm sitting there, and we're talking, and we were outside, and you know, it's time for the bees to go away, so they doing their thing, and I put my arm down in my lap, and all of a sudden I felt fire. I said, "Oh my god!" And so then I looked, and you could see it, a little piece of it hanging. So I pulled it out
Mm-hmm.
and threw it like, oh. So then I'm like, I'm nervous because I was in Columbus and I had to drive home. So I'm like, oh, I hope I don't have any problems with this because I've never been stung, so I don't know. And my sister is actually allergic. So I'm like, please don't let me be allergic. And I start blowing up while I'm trying to drive home. But it swelled up a little bit. Um, and then it went down. But then the fire sensation, it's still kind of tender, but the fire sensation was
Mm-hmm.
there for a lot. See, I don't know what to expect. Was there for a minute. I was like, what in the world? They was like, oh, it feels like a needle. Look, I have sickle cell, so I get needles poked in me for blood. I know needles. That wasn't no damn needle. I don't know what that was. It felt like fire. Like
Yes.
I said, what in the world? I was ready to fight a bee. Like, this what we doing today? But that was the adventure. So I had that little adventure, but that was a first. I said, "Oh my god, I done got stung by a bee. Look at here." My
Wow, you
bucket list is
fortunate.
ticking up. I had never been stung. Nope. And I haven't broken any bones yet, so please don't let that be a next verse, please.
Oh, no,
Thank
no,
you.
no.
I don't need them kind of problems.
No.
Right. All right, y'all. Okay. All right. Well, let's get it started. Welcome to our Saturday morning tea. Here we brew up the hottest topics in healthcare. We discuss health information, news, education, bucket lists, first, bee stings, how quickly this summer, this year is just gone. This summer
Yes.
is coming and going. Certification tips and entrepreneurship and really the revenue cycle at large. So as you come in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button. I'm Clarice Pointer, the girl with the pearls, the founder and senior education director of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, where coding education is key. And PRN is a healthcare compliance consultancy located in Cincinnati, Ohio, that specializes in revenue cycle and regulatory compliance in education. Now, let me ask you, do you know what it takes to be a certified, marketable medical coder? Do you? For real? Well, before I introduce my co host, let me share with you information on a free, free email course on the 5 steps to become a certified, marketable medical coder. Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start? And scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified, marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder. So if you are interested in getting more information about the 5 steps to become a certified, marketable medical coder, well, check out the video description for the link. Joining me today is my partner in success, My co host, Mr. Jesse, the registered trademark, put some respect on his
Hmm.
name, the coding nurse. Sir, introduce yourself and tell the folks all about you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse. I live in Philadelphia. I've been in healthcare for a long time. I left the bedside in 2014 and made my way into risk adjustment coding during the pandemic in 2020. I created a company, the Coding Nurse LLC, where I help nurses and other people in healthcare who are looking to leave the bedside transition into the wonderful world of HIM.
Okay. Moseyed on over into the That's what's up. That's what's up. But let's just take a look at the clarity going on over there in that case. Did you get some? It's just real crisp over there. I said, "Oh, wait a minute now. Pop out and
Um, I
show them."
don't know I changed the setting on the light, so maybe that's it.
Yes, it's very clear. Very. I said,
Oh,
"Okay."
okay.
You know me. I love the professionalism. So hey, I love. He popping out today. You about to lose your job. You done popped out. No, you look good.
Thank,
You look good.
thank goodness I moisturized.
You know how we are. We need moisture. uh, no, thank goodness I'm moisturized. Oh my goodness. All right. So before we jump in, let me remind you.
Speaking of moisturized, yesterday Thursday, I had to go pick up my gun permit.
Okay,
So
see, I cannot with you.
so I'm thinking the lady said all you need to bring is your driver's license. So I get there, the lady's like, take your glasses off so I can take a picture. I said, a picture? I said, if I'd have known, I'd have put on some eye cream.
I'd have been ready.
Yes.
Look, I was just sliding in, trying to slide out.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What you talking, lady? What you talking? Please be clear in your instructions
Exactly.
so that we know we like to prepare for things. Be clear, crystal clear, so that we know what we need to do. I love it. All right. So before we jump in, let me remind you that you can join in and add to the fun, the conversation. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Your opinion matters and is welcomed here. So, friends, please use the chat. If you have a question, please type Q first so we know that it is a question for us and we don't miss it. I'm trying to see. How can I see questions over there? I don't know. I never know. I did the Instagram thing again, and I don't know unless I guess I don't want to go out because I think I'm gonna do something wrong. We're gonna leave that be where it is.
Do you
Yeah.
have look at it on your phone?
Mm. Where is my phone? I think my phone is charging. Oh, that's a good. That's a good.
Because
Maybe I
when
can
I was doing Instagram, that's what I did. I just looked on my
just look at
phone.
it on my phone.
Mhm.
Okay. 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 Good to know. Let me put that. Bring your phone with you when you do the Saturday morning tea. All right. Well, for those who are just joining us or watching the replay, today we are talking Medicare's confusing AI signals, what you need to know, especially as a provider. So I think, let me preface, this is probably more directed toward providers and those that work directly with them, so that you can assist them in making sure that they're doing things decent and in order. How about that? But first, let's get into our church announcements, shall we? Can we kick it? Yes, we can. All right. Mm, Hey.
Mm.
Dum, 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 dum. Mm, 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 mm. Is that a little Urban League pen on his phone? I just never paid attention to that. Okay. Mm.
Well, we're gonna have to start our own celebrations because they don't.
Oh. This week has week. I promise you. On
Hmm.
all fronts. On all fronts. Okay. Turn this down. All right. So, only church announcement I had was, well, um, did anybody get an opportunity to go to the ICD-10 maintenance coordination meetings?
No, I did.
No, it was I didn't go the second day, which I'll get to in a minute, but first day it was good. It flowed very, very well. You had your regular players in motion, in play, discussing um all of the things. And it's funny how you hear it's I say it's a good time. It's a good time. It's a long time, but it's a good time. But it's worth it because you get CEUs for it all. Free CEUs, so you don't have to pay or anything for both of the days. Um, but they allow coding professionals. So you get an opportunity to hear from the community, the medical community who have an interest in adding a diagnosis or procedure code into ICD-10, and you get some of the background behind why they felt it necessary to do that. Then you hear from the committee, if you will, that kind of talks about what the changes, if adopted or when adopted, would look like. And you get a preview that it's a whole full packet. So you can see how it like lines up in the index and what it looks like in the tabular and some of the guidance that is provided, the notations and that kind of thing. And so it provides then the coding and compliance communities to come in and then kind of provide their expertise on, well, historically things look like this, and do we really need a code for that when we have not otherwise specified or all inclusive or whatever. So it allows that kind of back and forth dialogue for consideration on the codes. And then oftentimes there's like, it's like crickets, like, yeah, we've been needed that, where y'all been? And so it was all good. And it's not a adversarial type of conversation at all. It's very informative and very educational. So if you get an opportunity, I think you can get CUs if you go back and listen to it. I think.
I think
Um,
so. I did that before.
yeah, you can get CUs if you just go back and check out. You just have to, I think, fill out the form or get the information from the site or whatever. But you can get some CUs on it. But it's really a good time. The other thing, and so the reason why I missed the second day is because I had to attend an AI in Higher Education Institute session that blew my entire mind all day. So today's topic is literally on point with all of the AI stuff that that I that I ran into. And I do have one specific thing that we'll talk about in the meeting after the meeting that I was like, for real? This what we doing out here in these streets? I had no idea. And so I will be sharing with my tea sippers. But yeah, just a lot. I've been in an AI world. That's why I couldn't sit down, because it's been a lot. Just circling and ducking and dodging from some of the other things that's happening in the world, but immersed on this side of the world. How about you, Mr. Jesse? You have any church announcements?
The only church announcement I have is I'm starting an ICD-10 CM class on Wednesday, October 7th at 6 p.m. So if you would like more information, kindly mosey on over to thecodingnurse.com.
I love it. I love it. Oh, also, I sent the documents. Um, be presenting a brunch and learn. Um, hmm, I done drew a blank. I think it's the 16th, October 16th. Um, yeah, I'll get more information. I will talk about. I thought I was going to talk about it closer to it, but yeah, I'll be presenting a brunch and learn um, on some lovely healthcare revenue cycle topics
Okay.
near you. So more information. I'll get more information on that. All righty, all right. Let the tea spilling begin. Get rid of these banners. All right. So again, welcome back to the Saturday morning tea where we serve up the real talk our profession needs. I'm Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, with my partner in success, the coding nurse. Grab your favorite mug of whatever your favorite beverage is because we are about to talk about something that is going to make your life so much easier. Well, mostly easier. How about that? So today's topic is Medicare's confusing AI signals and what you need to know. So, you know how I always tell you that healthcare compliance doesn't have to give you a headache. It really doesn't. If you just follow the rules, if you do what the rules say, and they give you the rules, they give you the playbook, you just got to follow it. That's how play in the lines. Well, Medicare just handed us a perfect example of how it could all be so simple with just one tiny plot twist that we need to talk about. Now, here's where things get interesting and honestly a little confusing. While Medicare is saying use AI for documentation, keep it simple, they're simultaneously having a completely different conversation about AI in other areas of healthcare. Let me paint you the full picture because I want you to be informed, not just compliant. Know the why, know the information, know what's happening in the background. So, first, the beautiful simplicity. Medicare has finally given us crystal clear guidance on artificial intelligence in medical documentation through the Program Integrity Manual, Chapter 3, and a MedLearn Matters fact sheet that came out July 2025. And we want to thank our on the street correspondents for sending us that information. Here's what Medicare said, and I'm paraphrasing. Use AI if it helps you document. Just sign your name like you always do. And don't worry about documenting which AI tool you use. That's it. That's all you got to do. Could it be any simpler? It sounds very easy and simple. Of course, somebody gonna do something out of whack, and we all know where that will lead us. But anyway, they're treating AI exactly like a human scribe. So the scribe writes, the provider reviews and signs, AI transcribes, the provider reviews and signs. No special paperwork, no disclosure requirements, and no jumping through hoops, which is a little different than what they historically had folks do. Because historically, as a scribe, you had to mention that you were a scribe. Never were you supposed to sign off as the provider. That's a no. But you were supposed to document that you were performing or documenting as a scribe and list your sign off your name and credentials. But they're not, they're saying now that even that is not even necessary. Hmm, okay. But then on top of that, there's also another area where it gets a little complicated and why I said mostly easier. So while CMS is being incredibly permissive with documentation AI, they're taking a completely different approach with AI in other healthcare settings. So in December of 2024, CMS proposed strict AI guardrails for Medicare Advantage plans, things like requiring equitable access, preventing algorithmic discrimination, detailed oversight of a and detailed oversight of AI medical decision making or decision making period. These were serious restrictions that they were proposing. And so again, this was in the proposed rules. But here's the kicker. When they issued the final rule in April of 2025, they pulled it all back. It all went bye-bye. Poof. The magic dragon, it was gone. They didn't finalize any of those AI restrictions. CMS essentially said, and I quote, "We acknowledge there's broad interest in AI regulation and we'll consider future rulemaking." End quote. So let's move on. That's all they did. So we have this interesting disconnect. Documentation AI gets the green light with minimal oversight, while coverage determination AI gets proposed restrictions that then gets puts on the shelf. Put baby in the corner. We ain't playing with her right now. Now, what does this mean for you? Well, and your providers. Right now, it means you can confidently implement AI documentation tools following that simple framework I mentioned. Use AI to help document your encounter, review what the AI captured, make any necessary corrections, sign and date like you always have. But this is important. It also means we're likely in a transitional period. So CMS is clearly wrestling with how to approach AI regulations broadly. And here's what stays rock solid regardless of any future regulatory changes: the accountability as a clinician. So whether we're talking about documentation AI, coverage AI, or any AI tool, the provider remains the decision maker. So when you sign that documentation, you're saying, yes, this accurately reflects what happened in this encounter and the care I provided. Period. Point blank. That principle isn't changing no matter how the regulatory landscape evolves. Mr. Jesse, did you want to jump in?
No, not yet.
So, some of what you might be thinking, well, great. Now I'm worried about what's coming next. But here's my advice: focus on what you can control today, right? While staying informed about what might change tomorrow. And the way the world is today, tomorrow may come quicker than you think. Implement AI documentation tools thoughtfully. Set up good review processes and train your staff properly. These are good practices, regardless of future regulations. Now, what I suspect we'll see in CMS developing more comprehensive AI guidance over time. The documentation piece might be the testing ground, again, for broader AI policies. They're starting with the area that feels most straightforward, which is AI as a transcription tool, before tackling the more complex areas like AI in clinical decision making or coverage determination. So, here's what I want you to take away from our time together this morning. Yes, you can confidently use AI for documentation right now. The guidance is clear and simple and straightforward. But also stay plugged into updates because CMS is clearly still figuring out their broader AI strategy. The fact sheet, or the fact that they proposed and then didn't realize or finalize those Medicare Advantage AI restrictions, tells us that they're taking a cautious approach. It could all be so simple for documentation AI, and it is for now. Just remember that simple doesn't mean set it and forget it. So stay engaged, stay informed, and keep that clinical judgment front and center. Mr. Justin.
Now I have a question. So when they have these recommendations, like do they provide providers with examples of what it would look like
What do you mean?
in terms of like using AI for documentation or using AI to assist with documentation?
There weren't in the manual, there weren't any specific examples. And I did not go out to any of the Macs because the Macs also will take the information and the rule and expound on it and put their own little special twist on things. So some Macs are good about being explicit and go from A to B to C to D, and some are just like, here's the information. This is what you need to do. We'll check on you later. So
Right.
it just depends on your Mac. But I didn't see anything specific to this. on what that looks like. But there may be some, because I remember well, way back in the day when the signature rules came into play. Um, there was an actual document that showed like, and this was right. I guess this was right when EMRs were coming out, because they show like it was identifying what an electronic signature actually looks like. Because at the time, I think people were like just typing their, they didn't have a built-in system per se that was considered an electronic signature. They were just typing their name and putting a date and be like, well, and they were like, no, there has to be something where the person actually goes into a system with their credentials to say, yes, they were signed in and this is their affixed signature, da 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 da. So it was before or right at the beginning of that. And so they had specific examples, like if you're writing your name, it looks like John Smith and your credentials and the date. If you are using electronic medical record, then these are the things that should actually be affixed to that documentation to make that an official legal authentication. So they did have that. So I don't know if they're going to, for this, say what it is, but from what was again interesting for me was that you don't have to disclose um the AI part. You just gotta sign it off. So that was interesting for me, because they were, when Scribes came out, it was a whole deal. Like, well, wait a minute,
Hmm.
who's saying, who doing this, da 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 da. But they also have, because, and we talked about this before too, where the AI is actually capturing everything at the visit right then and there in real time.
Right.
So again, and there are some hiccups, because I had a visit with my mom and her doctor, who asked, is it okay? And I was like, yeah, because then I wanted to see it and then he couldn't bring it up, and I was like, see, what is this? But so you really, really, really have to go in. But that anytime, if you're talking, or even if you're in meetings and you can see the captions, oftentimes it's missing a lot of things. And so you're like, I didn't say that. That is not what I said. Um, why did it hear that? So yeah, you would still, even for that purpose, but definitely as a medical provider, you need to go in and make sure that it captures the spirit of what happened and what your um, medical decision making was for those visits. I know that was a whole long diatribe just to answer your one question, but yeah. But it's interesting. It's interesting that I think it's interesting that they turned away from that, not having them to document that this is actually AI.
Right.
Again, coming out of that whole AI and higher education piece, this was interesting. Like, well, wait a minute, hold up. So now you don't, because they're proponents of, in that community, there's a battle. You have those that are pro and for it, and then those, and it's like, well, use it as a tool and allow your students to use it as a tool. Then you have others that are like, no, um, they're being punitive about it. You're cheating and da 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 da. And then it's research has shown that some of those AI detectors are providing false positives, so people were getting um, slammed with plagiarism levels that actually were not. This is just how they talk, and they hitting them with, no, it was AI generated. And so there's a fear from students of getting hit with that and being labeled with that. But then the twist was, there are students who are stating, well, we all know that this is what's coming in the world. Why are you not teaching us about this in higher education? Why are you not making this part of your curriculums? And I think, and to put it in a health information twist, I think this is a prime opportunity for health information educators to adopt and provide information to our students on AI. Technically, because the AI had been here all along, we've been using computer assisted coding and all of those things, but then to show some of the things that AI can do for and with you, um, as a tool. So, you know, I think I'm cool with it. I'm cool with um teaching folks, how to do things using AI, what things can be helpful for them as an HR professional, da 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 da. Um, I think the other thing that folks were adamant about was, again, the disclosure. If you're not disclosing that you're using AI, like, is that cheating? Is that plagiar? Like, what is that, and what does that look like? So, yeah, I think that's real. It's real. We're in interesting times all around.
I just don't well, I do understand why there's pushback from some people because, some people just really like the old way of doing everything. And, AI is not coming, is here. Like
It's
AI
here.
has displaced hundreds of thousands of people from jobs. It's not going anywhere. And for somebody in a in a curriculum to get upset about somebody using AI to write a paper, like, come on now. Like, it's way bigger fish to fry because there are people who are out here using AI to create entire projects that they get paid for. So if I'm paying you for this class and I go and have AI print out a 10-page paper, if it has all the requirements, give me my grade.
Right. And I'm a rubric girl. Here's the rubric.
Mhm.
This is what you need to do in order to get this grade. Hit them points, we good.
Right.
We good.
Because the 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 hope is that when you use AI to search and you get certain information back, some of it is stuck or some
Mhm.
of you learn
Mhm.
during the process. That's the
Mhm.
whole purpose of education, period, to learn
Mhm.
through the process.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm. And there's especially in certain, I guess, higher education circles, you go to school to it's about knowledge. It's about knowledge gaining and knowledge retention and regurgitating the knowledge that you learn. But then in some educational arenas, again, I likened it to HIM or HI. We're about doing. And so we're showing you and you're doing things, and we're showing you how to do the thing. Um, medical coding as an example. We're showing you the skill. We're showing you to be able to do those skills. So, yes, there's a knowledge piece involved with it, historically and why we do and all of the things related to that. And then the other pieces of what you need to do to be a certified marketable medical coder. But there's also there's a skill. You have to learn the particular skill in order to do. So for in my opinion, I think AI is very helpful in that regard by showing them and teaching them. Um yeah, doctor, you took the
mhm.
words right out of my mouth. Teaching them the prompts, teaching them how do you go in. And the other thing is, y'all know my favorite, my boyfriend, Claude. But I learned that there are other AIs that do other things, specifically other things. And so why not create an assignment or assessment that allows the student to create something, or use some background material, put some stuff in there, write the prompts, create something, and then go back and review it, and then challenge the AI. So that's a reflection of learning. That's a whole piece package right there. And that's an artifact. That's something that you can take with you to say, hey, I have accomplished analytical skills because I have analyzed this information. I have proven, that this is the way it needs to be. I have then presented on this information. I mean, you are using AI as a tool to assist you in hitting a whole bunch of other competency points. And so why not? I don't know. It's I think it's a lot of it was fear. A lot of it was because she asked, one of the ladies in the presentation asked, well, what is the first word that you think about when you think about AI? And it was like fear and overwhelm and um, miscommunication and just a whole bunch. But then it was some positives as well, like assistant. And no one said, about AI taking over, because the people in, at least in this institute, they're from all programs, all types of education, legal, medical, engineering, all English majors, language major. I mean, just all over the place. And it's like real interesting just to hear some of their approach. And then at the end of this whole thing, we have to put together a project of what it is that we're going to do at our institution related to this. So it's going to be real interesting at the end. But it was just a lot of. I'm like, there were so many topics that thank God that they were recording everything and you do have access so you can go back. But there were so many different things that were offered at the same time. I'm like, I see three, and then one I went in and dude, I was like, I just wanted to sleep. Like, dude, you are boring me to tears. Like, let me pop out of here and go over here because this is not the jam. But his topic was great. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll come back. But it wasn't something that was keeping my attention. And I was like, Lord, God bless the students that had to deal with him on a regular basis. Jesus. But anyway, I digress. So good morning, Dr. Jasmine. She says, been time. I've been talking to physicians and scientists about it for years. I have receipts, and we know you do. Teach them AI prompts and usage as a tool and not an enemy or bad word. I think that's the other thing. Oh, and what I learned is making sure folks understand the difference between AI literacy and AI fluency. And that was one of the topics that I wanted to go to, but I was in another thing, and I was like, I'm gonna have to go back and check them out. But yeah, I was like, oh, there is a difference. There is a difference. So I think, to your point, Mr. Jesse, AI is here. It's here to stay. Uh, it's only getting better every single day. Human interaction is still vital and important and necessary. We've talked about this over and over again about, using AI as a tool to allow you, or to free up some of the time and energy that you have to tackle some of the bigger, more complex things. Um, I do think there's some masterminds in the background learning and tinkering and figuring out, because you can make AI an agent. I learned all kinds of stuff. But anyway, to do some other things. So there may be some more complex type of AI things coming down the pike. Oh, I shared in my with the Patreon a couple of weeks ago. I was reading um oh, I can't think of the name of the book now. It was the Oprah's book club, Culpability. It was Culpability. Oh my God. If you want an AI read, it is very, very good. Very, very good. It's some twists and turns and off the chain, but it's a very good read. I recommend um, getting an understanding about AI. And it talks AI in the form of ethics and morality, and just the stark contrast between, you program and you train and it's about autonomous, using AI for autonomous purposes. In this case, it was about autonomous driving. But you program it, you tell it what to do, and it's going to follow your program. Whereas with humans, you teach it, you train it, you tell it what to do, but then we're always thinking through, well, there's a right and a wrong way. Do I do it right? And AI tools don't have that. They just have what I'm doing what you told me to do. I'm following the directive. What's right, what's wrong. And so it's a very good topic in dialogue in that book. It's a good book. Great read. I couldn't put it down. I have a whole bunch of other stuff to read, but I couldn't put that one down.
And some of these people in academia who seem to have a problem with it, what they don't, I don't know if these people are still working, but almost every major company has their own version
Yes.
of of their internal, and I get it, like, because my main apprehension, and even now, I still don't do certain things on, because you do have to, if you really are working on something, you would have to, really should create your own GPT.
Hmm.
Or now in well, Chat GPT 5, you can make them temporary so it doesn't show up,
Hmm.
because it feeds anything you put in it is going to use it to, somebody else can put in the same prompt to get the same information
Hmm.
or more, including your input.
Hmm.
So, so a lot of, I mean, every Fortune 500 company has their own proprietary GPT that they have for their employees to use. And even now, I know I don't use Google as much as I use Chat GPT, because now if you use Google, when you get your results, it says AI overview. So they're even using.
Everything. Everything. And then with the new version of, y'all know I'm a Apple Mac girl, but with the new version of Microsoft stuff, you have that Copilot that's in everything, and then they do allow you to have your own uh, organization driven or led Copilot thing that you can actually, at least in academia. So yeah, I'm sure it's for other organizations as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's here. It's here. We're doing all the things. AI, even in medicine. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I don't see it as a bad. It's not, because it's not going anywhere, whether you like it or not. It's not going anywhere.
Right. And
So
really to just embracing, being informed, knowing, and and being informed, but if you're fearful, if you're feeling some kind of way, getting the information about what it is and what it can do and how to use it is important, but just approach with caution and do some simple things, and just to play around, because I think it's the fear of, um well, what is it? I don't know what it is. Oh, and that was another thing somebody was talking about, because they were like, they're calling everything AI, and everything is technically not AI. It may have an AI like feel to it, but everything is not AI. So, um, being mindful of that as well. I don't know. We're here. That's where we are in the world today. Wow. All right. Well, join us next week. We'll be talking some more wonderful, wonderful things related to um, healthcare revenue cycle, all the things. I need to get into the final rules that have come out and dig into those and provide some information. I'm sure things will be buzzing as always over at the Department of Justice and OIG. there's always there's always things happening there.
but speaking of AI, I also believe that it's going to create more HIM opportunities, especially for people who, because we don't you don't have to only rely on, imagine if you had coders and CDI, specialists and auditors really working on their own large language models. Imagine how impactful that would be.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of opportunity, and I just think that, once again, like, these major organizations are really missing out, because there's so much more that people in HIM can do and should be doing. Like, I just think that HIM professionals should be at the forefront of AI in healthcare,
Absolutely,
along
because
with
we're all in
providers.
the
Right.
data. That's what we do. That's where we live. We're the heart of it all.
And these organizations should be showing people how you can do that. Like, what do you need to know in order to be able to do XYZ with large language models?
And I think that's the disconnect, is the actual showing how and introducing folks to. But then with that comes policy and, regulation around, what you can and cannot do within specific organizations. So maybe it's a slow walk and they're getting there, but
Right.
it's a real slow. It's too slow.
I was
Catch
going
up.
to say, like, they're all, but
Catch up.
they're always two steps behind, because
Yes.
it comes a time. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, and I'm, listen, God has blessed me, to live a good, decent amount of time, on the planet, and I just think that there comes a time, if you're not ready to still stay up to speed with what's going on, go sit down. Like, go take your retirement and go sit down. Get out of the way,
Get out of
because
the way.
all you are is an obstacle to
Yeah.
progress. You really are. And we see it at HIM all the time. Like, you had people who thought it was heresy when ICD-10 came out.
It was
Like,
like,
I mean,
I'm not doing this
I
ever.
don't
I'm out.
understand. Like, if you know how to code, it's just a different code that you get to in the index. That's all. And even with 11, whenever it comes out, it's going to be the same thing.
It's
You're
the
going to
same.
have to index it the same way. It might be a longer code when you get there, but it's still going to you still are going to map it the same way.
Mhm.
But that's if you know how to code. Now, if you run one of them people around here, you know,
Call it out.
think
Call a thing a thing.
then God help you. But those that know.
Ah. One of my colleagues was like, I think they can just put in stuff in Google and get a code. Oh, for real?
Yeah, they do.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Ooh, mm-mm. Without going through the steps. Unfortunately, the steps are there for a reason.
And but you can't go through the steps if you don't know the concepts.
True.
You have to know what the guidelines say in order to help with the steps, because I'm telling you, like, the I thanks to our on the street correspondent, I done got hooked up with Wise Answer. I'm tutoring, and it always, every time I've ever tutored, it always comes down to learn the guy. You got to learn the guidelines, then it makes sense from there. You just can't, like, they're trying to get to step 3 without accomplishing step 1. You have to have a foundation, and the foundation is always and will forever be the guidelines.
Gotta know the reasons why. Yep, absolutely. Dr. Jasmine says, I took 3 AI certs. Let me know if y'all want any information on them. Sure. She said, oops. Sure. You can put the information in the chat. Folks may be interested.
Hmm.
Seeing what's out there. I know that, and like the one lady I follow, she all over the place though, but I just be in amazement, like, it can do what? We can do what? We can figure out what? Who has the time? I don't. I just feel like everything it's moving so quickly and moving so fast that you just have to carve out and be intentional about the time to learn it, just like everything else. We're in a field where we are professed to be lifelong learners. And when I tell you this adds to that, it just adds to it.
Well, I
Just
just
adds
wanted
to
to
it.
get better with making pictures of black folks, because I had to make a picture of me. I ended up looking like Carl Winslow.
I swear I'm gonna fall out. Well, that's why more black folks need to use it. So we can be clear. I know I was looking for some because canvas, Canva. You got the teaching Canvas and you got Canva.
Yes.
It has their little AI for helping with photos and images and stuff. I'd be like, what's wrong? They be looking like creatures and monsters. What's wrong? We don't look like that. What's wrong? But not Carl Winslow. Ah!
Shout out to Family Matters.
Shout
Yes.
out. Ah! He's so silly. But yeah, I think that's some usage. I think that's some additional usage things where we got to, show a. But then I've seen some really beautiful things, and I'm like, well, what did they do? And I guess again, I don't know if it's, but if you showed it a picture, why did it do? He like, in what world? Maybe it thinks you look like Carl.
Apparently, because look, we all look alike, even apparently the AI.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Mm,
We cousins. We all cousins.
mhm.
Ooh, all right, y'all. Well, that is funny. That is funny. Well, again, we're going to talk about some additional healthcare revenue cycle topics that may come our way over the next week or so. Thank you for joining us this Saturday morning. It's a lot out there, but when we keep it simple, we progress. But we have to make sure our head is on the swivel because things are changing rapidly and we need to stay in the know. So stay alert. And you got this. We got this. Don't be overwhelmed by all of the things. We got it. Just, take it bit by bit. We'll get there. We got this. We got this. All right. Well, let's see. Join our community at Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC. We provide ongoing education, compliance updates, and practical strategies for navigating this complex environment of healthcare revenue cycle. Remember, you do not have to figure this out alone. So, thirsty for fresh perspectives on the healthcare revenue cycle? By becoming one of the PRNT sippers, you'll get to meet Mr. Winslow. No, okay. You'll join a community. You'll get him in the flesh of sharp minds who savor the complexities of the healthcare revenue cycle. So why sip alone when you can steep in knowledge together? Come, let's spill the tea on industry insights. And here's what you can expect as a valued member of the Tea Sippers. Exclusive healthcare insights, so gain access to in-depth articles, webinars, and resources covering the latest healthcare trends, compliance updates, and revenue cycle best practices. Early access. Be the first to receive expert insights and guides, ensuring you stay ahead in the ever evolving healthcare industry. I guess for this week in the AI industry, because I got some stuff for y'all today. Personalized support. Enjoy direct access to our team of experts for guidance on medical coding, compliance issues, and revenue cycle management. We're here to answer your questions and support your professional growth. And my personal favorite, the community connection. All right, all right. Join a private community of healthcare professionals where you can network, share experiences, and collaborate on finding solutions to common challenges. So, by supporting us, you're not only advancing your healthcare knowledge and career, but also contributing to the success of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, a resource that empowers healthcare professionals like you to thrive in their roles, goals, and dreams. So thank you for considering becoming a member of the PRNT Sippers. For as little as $1 per month, you can join the community. So check out the link in the description of the video. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to helping you excel in the world of health information and healthcare revenue cycle. Let's see, Dr. Jasmine said, I added my picture to AI and it created an image that looked like me. My photographer used it to style my upcoming headshots. All right, okay. Well, I think it may be in the prompting, maybe. I don't know.
Hey, or maybe I look more like Carl Winslow than I realized. Maybe that's going to be my new name, Carl Winslow, the coding nurse.
about to holler. Sir, just make sure was you moisturized when you put that picture up there?
Listen,
Did you have all the
now
creams?
the picture looked I looked hydrated. I just looked like Carl Winslow. That's all.
Ah,
I mean, and even put on a I even had a suit and tie.
sir. Oh my God. Like, make it make sense. Did you ask it? Go back and ask it. You know, you can go back to your chats and talk to it.
Mm.
Ask it. Why do you think I look like you? Oh my goodness. That is hilarious. All right. For our Saturday morning tea family, we thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us. I know your time is precious, and we don't take it lightly that you chose to spend it here with us. So at the Saturday morning tea, again, we're all about building a community of savvy, informed, marketable healthcare professionals. So like, share, subscribe, and comment, and let's grow this community together. Mr. Jesse, do you I'm nervous. Do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I
You
don't.
gonna show us that picture?
Baby, it will never see the light of day.
Oh my God. You're like, who is that man? That is not, who is that?
Harpo, who that man?
Harpo, who that man? All right. Well, keep in mind, it could all be so simple when you focus on what truly matters. And today, what matters is staying informed, staying prepared, um, staying in the know. Those are the things that will matter for us today. And then making sure that we work together to make healthcare better for everyone. So, again, tune in next week. We'll be discussing another hot healthcare informational topic and that you won't want to miss. And see you PRNT sippers at 10:15 Eastern Daylight Savings Time. This is Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, reminding you that in healthcare, knowledge isn't just power, it's protection. And remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it, work for it. Until next time, take care. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Carl Winslow out.
Sorry.